I'm in this hospital room, and I can cut the tension with a knife. Why is this baby screaming as if it was angry about having taken its first breath? What the? Wait, it's me. The baby crying is me. I can sense the emotion now. So how is it that I can feel this newborn channel its senses? She's crying because she feels abandoned. Please pick me up. This is why I scream. You've been my source from the time of conception, 9 months ago. I breathe of you. I feel of you. I am of you. I can sense that you are near. I can smell your presence. But it's so cold here. Unlike the soft nestle that I was just minutes ago, I'm terrified. I imagine you right across the room from me as I lie here wrapped but on a cold, hard surface, unlike the soft nestle that I was just minutes ago. Why won't you look at me? Why did you turn your back to me when you knew I knew you were here? I can still hear that baby that was just me, screaming, begging to be acknowledged. Mother, may I? Mama, I know you're here. Aren't you happy to see me? I don't know anything other than your voice and the fact that your very womb carried me. Freedom time has come. Mother, may I?
When you look at the people that God is calling you to reach, what about healing or from wherever they've come from would you tell them as they begin this journey and walking with God?
I would have to say that healing is a place of necessity, but certainly not a place of perfection. I think oftentimes we feel like when we want to find healing or need at least to go in the direction of healing, we think that it has to be perfected in a way that makes it so perfect and so pure. And I guarantee you that's not what God needs for your healing. I think more than anything, if we look back at biblical times, we see that he did not use perfect people. Thomas was a doubter. I do that a lot. I doubt my gift. But because I do that and because God made me, he knows that that's my struggle. So there is something in 2 Kings that says when you are there yet talking with the king, he will come behind you and confirm your words. For me, he does that all the time because I still doubt. I still come from a place of perfection in a way because I want to be sure whatever I am doing to reach and or touch somebody that is coming along this journey is done of God and not of me. I don't need it to be the book of Makita. I do need it to be his words. So if I'm going to be the vessel, I have to be able to hear. I have to be able to find myself in a quiet place to listen. And I have to know that on this journey, we're going to stumble and we're going to fall. But I think the bigger thing about healing is knowing that whatever your journey and whatever you're coming through and wherever you'll end up, sometimes that battle wasn't even about you. It was about whoever it is you're going to reach, whoever you're going to touch, and whoever it is that needs to hear the story.
If you had a message and you wanted to leave it to your family, what would that message be?
I think that message literally started with the reading that I had, just letting them know that the situations that occurred were a lot. The situations that even occurred before they had existence on this earth. Take us back to the words that say, he foreknew you before your mother's womb. So he knew all about everything that was going to take place. It was hard. It was difficult. It was a lot for anybody to carry. It had to be something that is a pain even I can't imagine. I got this big old hole in my heart at 54 years old for the loss of my granny. She was like my best friend, even though I was so young. I was 8 years old when we lost her, but that hole has never closed. And I just think it's important that my family know that if the hole is like this for me, what must it be for you? Because losing your mother so young, my mom being 24 but the oldest of 4, them all looking to her in a certain sense, but then looking within themselves, not realizing that it was not a journey or a battle you had to carry by yourself. Knowing that every last one of us, because we still had her mom, we had Big Mama, knowing that they put us on the path to knowing God, knowing his word, knowing that he would never leave us alone, knowing that every last one of us was raised, rooted, and anchored in the word and in the church. That's what we had to hold on to. So I'm just grateful that we never stopped giving, we never stopped teaching, we never stopped singing, we never stopped being of service, we never stopped doing the things that were given to us as an assignment. I think the most important thing is even after we lost Big Mama, and I was 19 and 6 months pregnant, that also was my best friend. Like, there was nothing under the sun you couldn't say to her that was not received. It was not judged. It was understood. And though the instruction was given, even if I messed up, it wasn't an I told you so moment. There's no way they were that way with me and not the same with all of you. I think that for the most part, everybody went into their own world to deal with it in their own way. And I know for sure that what they would have wanted was everybody to stay together, stick together, and not let the glue fall apart. I know that all of the dinners and the come-togethers that we had, all of that fell apart when Big Mama was gone. But if we would get back to that, if we would hold on to each other, because I mean, come on, none of us are getting younger. I'm the oldest grandchild, so I feel like I have a certain covering over the rest of my cousins. I feel like the one that's next to me, it was just he and I when we lost our grandmother, but he was only 2. I feel like the twins, when they came along, as Jamel is my pastor and Alicia is, they were like the big brother and sister that my son never had. I feel like everything that was planted in us came from the heavenlies, even though we lost the matriarchs. And I understand now that my mom is the matriarch, period. And the way that we were taught to respect the matriarch has been lost. We need to do that. We need to respect the matriarch, regardless of what has happened in the past. We have to find love. We have to find peace. We have to find joy and understanding. And we have to know that no matter what took place, it's some God in it somewhere. You just got to find it. And when you find it, I think it makes everything okay.
So many of your family, cousins, nieces, nephews, will look at this. And what is the one thing, more than anything else, you want them to learn from your story?
I want them to learn that there is love, there is joy, there is peace, there is understanding, even in the midst of the storm. We were each given an assignment, and for the most part, we followed that assignment. I want all of you to know that I think there are a couple of us that are now ministering to a higher level that know that baton was passed to us to bring this family back together, to find that peace, to find that serenity, to find that joy. And when I say serenity, I'm going to be specific about my first grandchild. Her name is Serenity Rose, peaceful flower. I vowed when she was born that she being the first one that did not come through the same ministry we were all raised and rooted in, she was going to be the reason that we broke the chain. She was going to be the reason that the yoke was broken. She's going to be the one that'll stand strong and she'll speak, and she does. I want my family to know that the anointing that is upon us, it is the enemy's job to cancel the assignment. But it's our job to know that our God is bigger than all of that. And that he can bring a peace and an understanding that will keep us together, glue us together, and hold us together. Because we don't have forever, guys. We got to get this thing right. And I have a certain love for each and every one of you in a capacity that does not supersede any of the others, but it is different for every last one of you. I love you all. You all have been an amazing part of my journey. Whether it was painful, whether it was misunderstood, whether it was something that I couldn't put the pieces of the puzzles together. But now I get it. Like, I totally understand that all of it was not even about me. I think it was about us. And that this family bloodline, we love each other. We know that. And we all know that there are just going to be some things in an individual that may not be something we feel like we can handle. But I think we can overcome it. Because love overcomes all things. And when God is love, I think that's all we need.
Cool.
I love you each, both collectively and individually. You've all played a special role. And those roles matter. It's time. Time to stop keeping the records of wrongs. Time to stop passing the judgment. It's all about recovering love that is lost among us because we felt like someone should have lived their life according to our personal thought process. What then do we have left? Yeah, I love you, fam. You mean the world to me, as God intended it to be. You were the one who carried me for 9 months, and I fed off you for growth and nourishment, and no matter the circumstances, is the reason I breathe life for the first time. You were the one who defended my existence and called me your first grandbaby. You taught me of this gift, so young and impressionable. Is that why I crave your existence here with me so much? I called you Granny. You were the one whom educated so many over the years, but for the beginnings of me, you gave your all. And even today, when I pick up this pen, I thrive. I call you Auntie. You were the one whom was a fun guy. I learned to love music and to love to dance by riding on your feet, sometimes even playing some of Granny's old records. You don't know all of the cost of my anointing. Yet I love you fiercely. For with you all, in some way, God Himself saw fit for the makings of me.
Hello?
Hello?
Hey, what's up?
Not much, man. What are you doing?
Sleep?
Hey, I need you to get up. We just got booked for 3 shows.
Okay, where?
We're about to go to Philly. It's just called Art of Spoken Word.
Oh.
I need you to get up. We got an hour to get ready, and we need to be at the airport in 2 hours.
All right, I can do that. Swing by and get me.
Let's go. Come on.
Bye.
You need to get your head in the game. Can't nobody tell your story like you.
Many have tried to tell my story, but only I own this here pen. You see, I was 10, Pastorius Elementary, 5th grade, Philadelphia. Mr. Provette was my teacher. Reciting Eagle Trip, he challenged us to create our own versions. This was the day that I was introduced to my pen and my pen to my canvas. It smelled something like crazy glue and peanut tubes. We were playground renditions of revolutions. This was a time where Black Panthers were putting away their guns and picking up Afro picks because these were the limited choices of that day. But we were young. And we were still finding our voices on the corners of angel dust where teen mothers were becoming the dope fiends and cherry blossom queens, and big mamas were trying to find their freebase trips on highways to hell. Our innocence was stolen in silence. We were the generation who was left alone, forgotten, abandoned at the hands of good times and house parties, chilling on the stoops that created more babies than it did dreams. So while our Black leaders of that day were becoming the last poets of the era, mounting upon the platforms of Plato, Socrates, and Garvey, they still were mocking poets like Langston, Brooks, and Douglass. And while Gil Scott-Heron was shouting out the latest message to the messengers, it was my generation that was dying. Our pens were bleeding like innocent virgins. No pads and no mentoring. We were left unscripted. Our dreams disassembled, scattered amongst empty tombstones. We bear no marks of identification. We were uncensored children of immature wisdom, still seeking some parental guidance, but our stories, we transcribed them in black and white notebooks of confusion. These were the stages of building our resumes, trademarking our existence. Even then, we owned our pen. I own the right not to be silenced. My bloodline speaks from the captured voices of slavery, taken from so long ago that even now I even deny the journey. However, in my veins, alliterations is emerging. My dispositions drinks the lyrical juices of poetry, conforming conjunctions into functionary facts, similes into epics, turning metaphors into haikus. I even rescue Kai from the auction blocks of familiarity. So these veins are filled with the poetic license of freedom. So I should not apologize for the right to speak, no more than I should ask your permission to write. This here pen, you better know I own it.